Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
And welcome. You're tuned to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, NBC News Radio, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, Spreaker, and more. And why so many places? Well, I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness, so there's no gossip here, no scandal, and no K words, no Kardashian talk. In fact, no T words either. No headlines, only heart lines, because I want you to be happy 88% of the time. And if you're listening to the headlines or the news anywhere, it is not happy making at all. I used to say most of the time. Now it's all of the time. So I want you to know, and I'm so glad that you do, for the past 698 consecutive weeks, that this is the place to go for your heart lines. And I have beautiful people, co-hosts, and topics where I talk about solutions and the ability to find solution to things that are temporarily dark in our lives and what we face. And I can't think of a better person who is representative of solution for a particular area of darkness called young people who are incarcerated or in a place where they there's just no upside to it. But the upside is that there are solutions, there are organizations that are actually helping to remedy that. And her name is Akuyoe Graham. You know her as my satellite sister because we're both born out of, or we've been we're not followers, but we're leaders that are created from Agape International Spiritual Center under the guidance of my big brother, our teacher, Michael Bernard Beckwith. And her name is Akuyoe Graham. Please welcome back to my studio. She was my co-host on It's Not Black and White, or Is It? During the George Floyd Opportunity for Improvement. And she's a playwright. She's a one-woman show. She's an actress. She's a friend. She's a teacher. She's a spiritual guide. I could go on, but then she'd not have any time to talk. Welcome to the studio, Akuyoe Graham. Hello, my darling.
Hello, beautiful Dr. Marissa. Thank you so much for that very generous introduction. It's always an honor to be with you. I appreciate what you stand for and your joy in the world and how you dance through life. Literally.
Literally. Did you like that little segment where it's me and Reverend Arlene?
Yes,
I love it. I tagged her. I don't know if she saw it or not, but let's start the way I have started now for the last 3 years, which is taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich for breakfast. And top of the bun is things that if we look around us outside of ourselves, we are grateful for, as specific as possible. And then the bottom of the bun, we're going to model for you what we'd like you to do before you go to bed. Instead of thinking about who done me wrong, what I didn't do right, being our own worst critic, we're going to be our own best friend and pat ourselves on the back and acknowledge and appreciate who we are, which is my BS, my belief system. That is the foundation of good mental health. And that's why we do it. So, and it's also a chance for me to catch up with my co-hosts and my guests on what's been going on that they are happy about. So let's start with the top of the bun. What are you grateful for, Akuyo?
Ooh, well, I am grateful for this moment right here, right now with you. Grateful for your generosity, your kindness, and your support, which you give so freely to so many. So I'm deeply grateful for that, Dr. Marissa.
谢谢, which is Chinese. I know you thought I was Swedish, but that's Chinese for thank you. And I do that often and much. So I am, okay. Sorry. It just, because I was in the other studio. It's confused where I am. I am grateful that I have so much. I have a great closet, and I have nothing to wear. I don't think has ever crossed my mind or my consciousness. So I'm grateful for that. I have an abundant, limitless, beautiful closet of clothes. I'm grateful for that. What are you grateful for?
You do have beautiful clothes.
Thank you. What are you grateful for?
Is that to me?
Yep.
Okay. I am also grateful for this year celebrating 30 years of doing good with Spirit Awakening Foundation. I am blown away that it's been 30 years. I am deeply grateful for that.
That's because you are also #ageless, like I am, and use oil of Olay or whatever we use. I think it's just naturally high, high vibes that keep our skin nice and whatever.
That's right. Keep us ageless, timeless, and beautiful.
I like it. ATV or ATVs. I'm grateful that I have now been on for 698 consecutive weeks. And I didn't know this the last time you were on. I didn't press the advanced statistics on the YouTube TV channel, but I'm over 4 million impressions now, which is like, I was stunned and very happy knowing that they said I wouldn't last a year.
Wow.
15 and a half years later, I am still here and being a cross between the Energizer Bunny and the Tasmanian Devil or Tasmanian Angel. And one more.
One more. Whew. I am grateful for my health, for wholeness of my body, temple, and body of affairs. Very grateful for it because health really is wealth.
Yes. And I haven't talked to you in a bit. So I am grateful that my friendly universe, I call him my UPS man, my universal power source who delivers every morning when I pray and meditate, continues to show me new things and new people and new opportunities to balance out the sadness that I feel for the 2 blood clots that have grounded me and the world tour. I just got last week from the hematologist that the world tour, as I had laid it out, that has been canceled. We thought it would be postponed, but to travel to a different country for 6 consecutive months is not something that is good for my body. So, I'm doing stand up now. I just won a comedy competition last night, so I am very grateful that I am continuing to be aware of other opportunities as I move through this. Yeah.
Magnificent. I love, because I've been reading, and what I love is how, like you said, your response to something that perhaps, is not pleasant or you didn't want, your response though is what makes the difference, because you respond from such a centered place,
Most of the time. Most of the
yeah.
time. 80, I'm working on 88%. 80% of the time, I'm working on 88. But thank you. Shit. I most of the time now we'll go to the bottom of the bun, which is what do you like about yourself, so that you're not walking around looking for love in all the wrong places, likes in all the wrong places on social media these days, literally. So I have to pat myself on the back and say that most of the time I am able to come from that place. And at the same time, I'm able to allow myself to be sad. The only reason why I'm not crying now is that my makeup is getting expensive, because every time I have to redo it, and it's really a pain in my makeup. And although I don't apologize for crying, tears are the disinfectant that keep our hearts soft. And I'm sure I still have a phone call to you that I'm going to be allowed to completely be, one with that pain, but it ain't going to be right now. So,
Okay.
What do you like about yourself?
I always say this, and I really do. I love that I have a spiritual practice, that no matter what's going on, even if I go crazy, I remember that, wait a minute, I am a spiritual being. I am having a human incarnation. However, I am a spiritual being. So I love that I am aware of that, and I have a practice to support that.
Beautiful. I appreciate that I have a great sense of humor, and I own that. My husband used to tell me I was not funny at all, but I started doing the stand-up in November of last year, and the feedback has been just brilliant, and I'm so grateful and appreciative that I am funny. Funny looking sometimes, funny sounding sometimes, but I am funny.
Yes, you are. You are. Even just saying husband,
Should have trademarked that, but oh well.
Is it too late to trademark it? Is it too late?
A guest on my show has actually taken it, and so people associate it with her.
Okay.
And I'm continuously working on the forgiveness for that.
Oh my.
But people who know me know that that's mine. So
yes,
it doesn't matter. And it's all, nothing new, right? Everybody is tapped into global creative, muckety muck.
Yes. Oh.
One last one. What do you like about yourself?
What do I like? I love that I am really grateful for the way I look, for my features, for this color of my skin, because growing up, these were the things that I didn't like about myself, and to now have been able to take that all off. Whew.
Yes. That is fabulous. That's breakfast. I hope you enjoyed breakfast with us this morning, and know that I'm here every weekday morning to have breakfast with you. Either, while you're driving in, or please don't type your gratitudes in the chat unless you are stationary, but you can certainly say it to the person, or you can talk to yourself. But it is such a good life habit and a hashtag bliss. And I promise you, if you do this every weekday morning, make it a habit, you will sandwich your day in the most positive way. Thanks for joining us for breakfast. And now for the topic of the day. Everything is awesome. She's sitting here in the studio. The topic is, what is spirit awakening?
That's a great question. That's a great question. What is spirit awakening? Because in reality, in truth, the spirit is never asleep to awaken. So really, and when I wrote that title, I couldn't say human awakening. I mean, I could, but it didn't sound as good as spirit awakening. So what spirit awakening is the the being waking up to who we truly are, waking up to our true selves, our true natures, our authentic self. That is what spirit awakening is. Being able to reveal the true self, to reveal the divine, the better angels of our beingness, if you will. That is spirit awakening.
Beautiful. And when you came up with that name,
Mhm.
for those who haven't seen Akuyo on, this would be a nice recap of what was it that, you know, had you stop and go, I need to do something.
Well, I think it was a series of things, because as you know, life is not linear. There's so many things happening all at once. So I'd come to Los Angeles and I was working on a one-woman play. The first one I had, the first iteration was Seems I'm Always Chasing Rainbows. And it was a compilation of some of my favorite monologues from Tennessee Williams, William Shakespeare.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah, it was a really good show. However, it was actually Stevie Wonder who said to me, "Yeah, this is all really good, chase the rainbows, but who's Akuyo? We want to know who you are." Yes, true story.
Oh,
And
I didn't know that. I'm so glad I asked you a question. I didn't know that
right?
story.
Yeah, so that's part of it. So with of course, when Stevie Wonder tells you something, you pay attention, hopefully, and you listen, you listen. And so I went home and just began, and it literally poured out of me. I began writing what is now Spirit Awakening, the one woman play, and just looking at my life and looking at some of the experiences I'd had and the journey to get to Akuyo, because I'm born in Ghana, West Africa, and in a lot of African countries, we are given both our traditional African names and also Western names. Ghana had been colonized by the British. We got our independence in 57. So my British Western name is Charlotte, which is a perfectly beautiful name. However, Akuyo is also my name. And so I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful to write the story of my journey, literally back to Akuyo, and how
Mm.
I did that? And that's how the Spirit Awakening one woman play was birthed, from motivated by Stevie Wonder.
Wonder. Boy, talk about being motivated by the best, right?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's great. And then how did that turn into the name of the foundation that has been doing great work for 30 years that I'm one of the sponsors of?
Yes, you
I
are.
choose, I can't sponsor or help everybody, but certainly this is one that I've chosen to continue to champion on the show and everywhere. So tell me about that.
Well, I was sitting in the back of the sanctuary after being incredibly inspired by Reverend Michael, and the name literally popped into my head, Spirit Awakening Foundation. And just as had heard Stevie Wonder, when I heard that in my mind, I thought, yes, yes, Spirit Awakening Foundation. I will do that. I will create Spirit Awakening Foundation. And at that time, I was volunteering my time in the juvenile halls and probation facilities. So I thought, yes, I will create Spirit Awakening Foundation, and the work I'm doing with incarcerated youth will go under that umbrella. Now, mind you, at the time, Dr. Marissa, I did not know anything about nonprofit work. I didn't know about philanthropy. I didn't know you could get contracts and grants to do the work I was doing. I didn't know anything about social justice work. I knew nothing. I just had the inspiration. I love the name Spirit Awakening Foundation. So I thought, yeah, sure, go for it. So I said yes.
Uh-huh. And at the time, you were acting and you
Yes.
were also volunteering, as I remember. And
Yes.
how did that come about?
the volunteering, a friend of mine told me about a group called LA Theater Works, actually, and asked me if I'd wanted to work with them. And so I said yes. So I had to put together a curriculum, and I didn't know what to do, but again, inspiration. And at the time, Reverend Nirvana Gale, who has transitioned, brilliant man, brilliant spiritual teacher. He used to work in the probation system. So I called him and I said, look, I have this opportunity and I'm not sure what to do. He prayed with me, he meditated with me, gave me some guidance, and then I took it from there. I sat, and Dr. Marissa, again, the curriculum, which is now called Rites of Passage with a W, literally flowed out of me. It was so easy in retrospect. And it comes in different levels. Level one is unmasking your authentic voice. And that entire level one downloaded just came through. And that's how all of that started. As I worked with LA Theater Works at that time, and they would pay stipends, not very much. And then I was volunteering. And so all of that kind of came together. And the work grew because youth in my programs, when they left juvenile hall, would go into a probation camp. They would go somewhere and they would tell their probation officers or their teachers about this woman named Akuyo with Spirit Awakening. Say, bring her to the camp. And so the teachers and the POs would call me, can you please bring your program here? Can you bring your program there? And I did. And so it grew very organically, very organically.
So rites of passage is WRITES. So
Yes.
journaling, writing is part of the program.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so you were volunteering with youth that were in the probation system
Yes.
and taking them through this program that was downloaded. And
Yes.
for those of you who are not familiar with, we're not computers, but it's an accurate description of, I would say, inspiration.
That's right.
From the whatever you want to call it, God, source, the creative energy that is
Yes.
accessible to us all, that
That's
is
right.
responsible for creating all of the beauty that you see around, the fact that there's not one snowflake or one grain of sand or one drop of water that's like another, that creative energy.
That's
and
right.
that is available to all of us if we get out of our own way.
Yes.
And connect. And that's why meditation, a practice that both of us are extremely protective of, or champions of, I should say,
Mhm.
is a process by which you can do that more easily, I would say,
Mhm.
right?
That's
Because
right.
you learn
That's
how to
right.
get out of your way with all the worried thoughts or fearful
Yes.
thoughts and all of that. So that's what she means by download.
Yes.
And it is a beautiful, but I mean, the times that that's like the athletes call it being in the zone, musicians
Yes.
call it being in the pocket. So
Yes.
so it's not a woo-woo thing. It is a real, process. Sorry,
That's right.
I just wanted to do the dictionary, the agape dictionary. Oh, all right. So then word caught on organically. There's this woman who is helping me.
Yes.
See if I can use the words that I've heard from some of your graduates. I've had some of them on the show.
Yes.
I love the poet. He's my favorite.
Pluto. Yes. He's incredible, isn't he?
He's so
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
I just he was my he's my Amanda Gorman.
Yes.
The show's
Yes.
Amanda Gorman, Pluto.
Yes.
But it's like this every year when I go to the once a year fundraiser, which we're going to talk about, and we're inviting you to that.
Yes.
It's this recognition or recognizing these kids who have done something. They have committed a crime.
Mhm.
And the the usual reaction for the average person is if you do the crime, you do the time, which is a ridiculous way to throw away people.
Yes.
How's that for a soundbite?
Right. Fantastic.
And what Akuyo does is help these youth recognize the burden of that accusation,
Yes.
of that sentence, to help them understand they are not the crime.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. We have to have creative solutions, creative responses to when things go wrong. When our young people, our children are acting out, we have to have creative solutions, because it's not just, you can't just blame the parents. It's so many things, especially now. There's so much that young people go through. They're being bombarded. When I was growing up, I didn't have the internet, and I didn't have social media, but now a child leaves your home and they can access pretty much anything, anywhere, at any time.
Yeah.
And so it's a collective response that we need, a creative collective response. And so Spirit Awakening is one of many extraordinary organizations out there that are saying, hey, why don't we, bring the kids back into the communities, and let's make sure these communities have programs and resources to be able to listen to them, hear them, talk to them, and love them back to themselves, and let's offer them, counseling. Let's offer them art, creative programs like art, whether it's visual art, graphic design, painting, music, writing, acting. These are disciplines that can really help a person come back to themselves. And we've taken most of the art programs out of our schools. So hello, you want to go, well, duh. If you're not giving, especially children, as they're growing, they one of the ways they grow and develop is through artistic, creative means. So if we strip the schools of all of those things, then this is what we have. So nonprofit organizations, community-based organizations with some schools are saying, hey, let's offer them these creative solutions and these creative pathways for them to be able to really discover who they are on an authentic level and find meaning. Let's let our children know that we value them, that they are necessary. When you feel valued, you really, you don't want to go out and hurt someone, because you feel valued, you're necessary, you're needed.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're just tuned in and you're wondering what's going on in studio today, yes, she does look familiar. Yes, she has been here many times. She's my satellite sister, Akuyoe Graham, celebrating 30 years of an organization that she founded called Spirit Awakening. It is a very important organization that I am a advocate and a supporter of, because it does return some balance to this wacko belief system that people are just what they do. And if they make one mistake, they are condemned to a life that's become a $1 billion industry, which is just really wacko. I'll just say wacko. And I just had this vision, Akuyo, of the whole, and I know, and you know, that we don't fight against things. If we push against something, it's just going to grow bigger. So I'm not going to condemn the system, but I'm going to move and see the solution, which is a world that understands that our whole person is not just one side of your brain.
Right.
But the vision that I had was, we're so focused right now on, just like you say, math, science, and not the arts, and cutting the programming, cutting all of that, that basically we're going to have people walking around because the only one side of their brain is developed.
Like this.
And an alien's gonna come onto the earth and go, why? This is what people are. We're all like this. Just like, chicken that are only valued for their breasts, and it's such a sad story. But that they can't walk because their breasts are so big, because that's all that a certain portion of our population is eating. Like, that's what I mean. Unbalanced. You didn't know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's sad. It's so, because the injections and stuff, they literally cannot walk because they're, So that's the vision I got, which is
goodness.
Which is why I'm all about balance, right?
Yes.
So I just saw the time. We're gonna have to take a quick break for news, weather, traffic, and a word from our sponsor. I totally want you to stay around. We're gonna be back in 2 and 2, not even 2 minutes, but peace in, peace out. I see eyeballs in the studio. I'm glad you found us. I apologize. I gave her a different link, but you just need to free subscribe to Dr. Marissa, and you will find us. We are live right now with Spirit Awakening founder and so much more. Akuyoe Graham. We'll be right back. Peace in, peace out.
Well, she has been dubbed the Asian Oprah, and she just wants all of us to be happy.
Dr. Marissa, aka the Asian Oprah, says the most important thing you can choose is choosing to be happy.
You are tuned into my weekly talk radio TV show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa.
That's the idea for Dr. Marissa Pay's new book called 8 Ways to Be Happy.
Many of us say, I am my own worst critic. Nobody's harder on me than I am. And my response to that is, stop it! Why are you doing that to yourself? You have to be your biggest fan, because if you can't at the end of the day say, I did a good job, who is? We don't have to constantly be angry at the things that are wrong. Why don't we choose to be happy about things that are right? We have the choice. That's our muscle. And life is so amazing if we can see it.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course my YouTube TV channel, where if you free subscribe and give me the finger, this one, not the other one, which people have already done. Thank you so much. You'll get tuned into a show about happiness. And I am on a happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. And we've already hit way more than, it started as 8 million, just so you know, but I hit that number with the TV show that I was on in China before COVID, the interview on ABS-CBN with the Philippine Oprah, Karen Davila, in the Philippines right before COVID. So I had to change the number. So it's now 88 million. May not make that number before I pass, but we're adding on the 4 million impressions from this YouTube TV channel. It is the #1 talk show in the IE. Thank you very much. Home to the Asian Oprah, KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. And today we have with us the incomparable #timeless, #ageless satellite sister of mine, We're called satellites because we do move in different places. We don't always intersect. We always intersect at least once a year at the Spirit Awakening Foundation fundraiser. And I wanted to bring that up to make sure that people are formally invited. Talk to me about this 30-year celebration.
Ooh, 30 years. Yes. Thank you for bringing this up, Dr. Marissa. We are going to be celebrating on Friday, October 3rd at the Skirball Cultural Center right here in Los Angeles. And it's called Voices of the Unheard. And it is exactly that. This is an opportunity to hear the voices that we don't normally hear, voices of formerly incarcerated youth, voices of program participants of ours. Some are foster youth, some have been through so much trauma, and we get to hear their voices through spoken word, through music, and sometimes through modern dance as well. So again, it's a celebration of their resiliency. It's a celebration of all of us, you, me, and everyone else that supports Spirit Awakening, and the work we do really supports the youth. You know, the throwaways. These are youth that our society has thrown away. We are supporting them, and we're saying not so fast. You know, hear them. Youth like Pluto, who will be there. He's our resident poet, an extraordinary young man, and Masumi and Hunter, and just so many of them. And when you hear what they have to say, as you have, it's quite stunning, isn't it? That this is what pours out of them. So we're going to celebrate the resiliency and the brilliance, the genius of our young people at Voices of the Unheard. We start at 6:30 with a pre-show reception with hors d'oeuvres and wine and other non-alcoholic beverages and live music. Then the 7 p.m. is the program. And then 8:30 will be a smashing 30th anniversary party with delicious food for everyone. And so I hope all of you listening that are in Los Angeles will be able to join us that day. I know it's a difficult time right now. However, it's important to also celebrate our wins. You know, where we are winning, it's important to acknowledge and celebrate that. So come and join me and some of the teachers, some of the donors, Dr. Marissa, some of the supporters of Spirit Awakening, and of course, the youth that will be there. We'll have lots of young people there celebrating their own work and their good works and their brilliance. So that is Voices of the Unheard.
Beautiful. Yes, Skirball Center. I will be there. I'll bring my mic as usual. They have a red carpet. So if you want to get photos or whatever it is, those of you who haven't seen my social, I put a little clip up yesterday. It's got my hashtag dancing queen as usual in there. So yeah, it's a beautiful evening. It's a great way to support, you know, and this is your chance to do more than just shake your head, right? You know, we can talk about things like homelessness. I don't talk about it unless I have Doors of Change that's here that gets youth off of the streets. Another one of my organizations. I don't talk about the prison system or the juvenile situation unless I have Akuyoe Graham on, because I know that Spirit Awakening Foundation does make a difference. So there you go. There's a lot of, I just realized I went back to that keyword at the beginning. I forgot. Anyways, inside communication there. But I know that, like Akuyoe said, it's the best of times and the worst of times. And this will help you focus on the best of times.
That's right. And I want to add, Dr. Marissa, in addition to you, other celebrities include Francis Fisher, who will be there, Deborah Wilson, and they actually will be interpreting some of the spoken word written by our youth. Reverend Michael will be there. So, and there'll be other surprises. So come join us on the red carpet. And something we do is we never turn anyone away. It is a fundraiser. However, we do have some seats set aside, sponsored by our board, for pay what you can. Pay what you can. So there you have it. You have no excuse not to be there.
That's right. And it's a beautiful drive, actually. If you've never been to the Skirball Center, gorgeous, gorgeous views of LA. LA's never looked so good.
Right? Yes.
So,
and the center is beautiful, isn't it? It's a gorgeous space.
yes. And they're one of your sponsors as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's
Yes.
a beautiful thing, because they don't necessarily, I'm sure they get requests up to the yin yang.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So let's talk about some BS, because I like to put the moose on the table, which is my Canadian expression of talking about the elephant in the room. I have a new moose. Do you like him? He's got
I
a
love him.
parachute. He's got a parachute, so when the moose drops, he doesn't like hurt himself.
He's so cute.
I bought him when I spent a month in Canada, after my mom passed.
Yes.
Yeah, and so that's my newest moose. So he has a friend.
Oh.
So let's put the moose on the table about some of the BS belief systems about youth, felons, youth crime, youth. If I put my average person hat on, the news will flash up there. The smash and grab. It's carjacking, gang violence.
Sure.
That's what the youth in LA or anywhere, troublemakers, black sheep. It's good that they get thrown in the system early so they see what the cost of crime is. That is the average association. Tell me what is the truth.
Well, Dr. Martin Luther King is quoted as saying, violence is the language of the unheard. And I really think that's true. These are young people crying out to be seen and heard. Granted, I'm not excusing the behavior. The behavior is abhorrent. You don't go and tag someone's building or steal someone's stuff. It's not yours. However, these are young people that have lost their way. They perhaps, many of them have suffered incredible traumas themselves, whether it's neglect, whether it's physical abuse, or a combination of all of those things. I guarantee you those young people incarcerated aren't incarcerated because they're choir boys that have been, treated very well with respect and love and kindness. These are young people that literally have lost their way. They are left to fend for themselves. Perhaps they haven't seen examples of, what responsiveness is. And so they go and act out. A lot of times the gangs become surrogate families for them, because they need something to anchor them. And if they're not getting it in the home or in the community, they're going to reach out to wherever they can get it. So the gang culture is there. And for many of them, that's their anchor, And so what do we do for these young people once they are arrested? We have so many programs, not just Spirit Awakening. Like I said, there are incredible organizations out there right here in LA. There's Liberty Hill Foundation has a group called the Liberation Fund, which is made up of a cohort of some of the most vital organizations doing this work, in juvenile support. And so we all offer what we offer at Spirit Awakening. We believe that when a young person is in crisis, because that's what it is, it's a crisis. You go and commit a crime, that's a crisis. You're arrested, you're put in jail or juvenile hall. So we come in and we say, okay, stop. This is your crisis moment. This is the time you get to look in the mirror at yourself, and let's awaken. Let's help you remember the better angel of yourself. Let's help you remember who you really are, because the real you wouldn't want to be doing these things that you're doing. And sure enough, when I've been teaching them, so many of them have siblings, and they will say, Mama Akuyo, Miss Akuyo, I don't want my little brother to end up like me. I don't want them to do the things that I've been doing. I don't want them to be in a gang. I want them to have a life that's meaningful. They've written themselves off, but for their siblings, they will fight tooth and nail to make sure that younger brother or sister does not follow in their footsteps. So it tells us that there's something, they are redeemable. There are no throwaways in life, no throwaways, no matter what they've done. My faith teaches me that, hey, the same way that Spirit, the Creator, forgives me my trespasses, so let me do the same for another. Now there are consequences to actions. I won't disagree with that. Of course there are. I'm just saying, okay, if we feel that this person needs to be taken off the street because they are a danger not only to themselves but to others right now in the state they're in, sure enough, I agree with that. Let's make sure that wherever we're taking them, there's a real chance for rehabilitation.
Yes.
Right now, right? Our jails and prisons are not really great places for rehabilitation. We all know that, and so let's make sure that those spaces that we are putting them in, if we need to do that, if putting them back in the community is off the table, and for some people it is off the table,
Right.
then let's make sure that the spaces we're placing them in can offer real support, real care, real rehabilitation. Because we're all paying for this, you and me and every other taxpayer. We're paying for these services, so why don't we pay for something that works? Right? That works as opposed to something that doesn't, And I would say many of the youth, 80% of them, 85, 90% of them can really be placed into programs in their communities. There's a small percentage that, okay, perhaps they are a danger to themselves and others. The crisis is so deep and intense, and the behavior is so abhorrent. So let's isolate them from the society while we give them treatment.
Right. And there lies another BS, a belief system that keeps negative things at play, is that the whole population is the same, right? So you treat them the same. All violators are the same, and it's not true. There's, the damage that was done when I was doing clinical work, when they closed the mental hospital in Camarillo. I was part of the dismantling, and watching these people who did not belong on the streets have no more place to go. And this is the unbalanced, as going right back to what you talk about. Things are not that simple. It's not this way because this happened. That's the Newtonian American, there's the problem, one solution. It doesn't work like that. There's so many reasons why something is the way it is. We have to have so many ways in which to look and remedy and move towards how to make things better. So
that's right.
Absolutely. But the majority, I would say 98% hurt people. 98% of the people in the juvenile system, 98% of the people in the prison system are hurt people who hurt people. So why do we continue to say, if you do the crime, you do the time? And teaching them how to make license plate, whatever it is not the solution.
No,
the solution is to
I agree.
It hurts.
Yes, I think we just as our whole systems need to be revamped, and revitalized. Our school systems need to be revamped and revitalized. What are we teaching young people? We have older teens in our groups and young adults that don't even know anything about the banking system, just basic banking, how the bank system works, savings and basic, entry level investing. Why don't we teach those things in the schools? Why don't we teach them the practical things that they will need to learn? When you have a credit card, make sure you're paying more than just the minimum payment, because then your $500 credit card becomes $5,000 because you're only paying the minimum, not even that. They need to know these things so they can, work themselves out of a debt. Many young people are building debt as we speak without a clue as to how to out of that, So
and why don't we?
again,
Yeah, exactly. And why don't we teach personal mastery in the school? We teach professional mastery, how to get ahead, how to know what you're talking about, how to be good at a particular field. But you can have all the kudos and the money and the titles and the recognition, but if you still have a voice in your head saying you're not all that, who do you think you are? Self-sabotage, fear of failure, fear of success. It doesn't matter how great you look on the outside. If you're in turmoil on the inside,
that's right.
Robin Williams, Kate Spade, Anthony Bourdain, the list goes on.
The list
Why
goes
don't we
on.
teach that in the school?
Okay, self-mastery, absolutely.
That's
can you imagine?
Yeah.
It would be so wonderful, and let's put more meditation in the schools, to help young people center themselves. I mean, all that's really all meditation is. Be still, listen to yourself, listen to, feel what you feel, rather than being in denial. I'm fine when you're not. It's okay not to be fine in moments. That happens for everyone, to say, oh, I'm not so fine this morning. Let me just take a moment for myself. Let me just take some moments to just be with that and see what that's really about. And, oh, okay, maybe I need to speak with someone. Let me, go to a trusted friend or a parent, someone who will listen to me and support with guidance that makes sense,
Yes. Yes. But we don't. Knee-jerk reaction, right?
Yes.
It's almost guaranteed to make you look like a jerk. But we don't know how to not do that, to keep reacting.
Right.
We go, I'm fine. You know what fine stands for, right?
No, what does it stand for?
Effed up, irrational, neurotic, and emotional.
I love it. I love it. Oh, Dr. M, you are such a brilliant woman, really.
I wish I could take credit for that one, but I can't. But I am taking credit for actually showing it to you.
Thank you. Thank you. I will use that. I will definitely use it.
Good.
Goodness.
Good. And again, let's bring this up. For those of you who just joined us, you'll have to go back and watch the rest of the show. But we do have an event that we are inviting you to that is going to be here very soon. Let's see, October. So we're like 2 weeks from now.
Yes, just about 2.5 weeks from now.
2.5 weeks from now. That's right. So October the 3rd is
a Friday evening,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is going to be at the Skirball Center. It starts if you get the VIP package, 6:30, and then 7 is the performance, 8:30 is the dinner dance.
Yep.
So this is something that you will want to go to and be part of and support the voices of the unheard. This is the once a year, so it is a very important time to go and support. Final word from you, Akuyo. As usual, it went very quickly.
Okay, final word is join the celebration. Final word actually is thank you, Dr. Marissa. I always like to end on gratitude. Just know that I am truly grateful for your love, your support, your generosity, and your brilliance and genius and your joy. Keep dancing, keep putting on these wonderful shows with your great guests, meaningful conversation. And so that's my final word really is thank you, Dr. Marissa. And join us Friday, October 3rd at the Skirball Cultural Center. Pay what you can if you can pay what you can. So there you go.
Yes. And one more time, I'm going to give you Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award. Don't give it to every guest. And then finally, you know the drill. Peace sign up. It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. Now go and have the best day ever. I'll see you tomorrow.
Take back your life.